We're delighted to have Jekeva Phillips joining us for our program. Thank you for coming here.
Oh, of course.
We're at Seattle Central, which is where you work, and we wanted to talk about your work. We wanted to talk about some of the things you do outside of work. So let's start with Mainstay, the program that you work on.
Well, I'm a job coach with Mainstay, and for those of you guys who don't know, Mainstay is an absolutely amazing program. So our company, we interview people who have disabilities. We talk to them about the things that they like, the things that they don't like, and then we give them a skills test, and then based on those two things, our company goes and finds jobs for them. And then once they have that employment, that's where I come in. I go in and I work one-on-one with them to facilitate a successful relationship. So I work with deaf people, blind people. I work with folks who are on the autism spectrum, also known as not neurotypical, which I found that out at a conference last month. So I work with all different kinds of folks. Each person is a puzzle. I figure out how they learn and I help them in their job. And it's always super fun. It's pretty rewarding. Yeah, it's never a boring day at the office.
You love what you do, clearly.
Yes, even the paperwork part is like, I'll deal with this just because the other parts of my job are so great.
Tell me about some of the work that you're doing outside of your work. I happen to know because we have this partnership now with you in terms of the literary world that you have immersed yourself in. Tell me about that.
Well, work and not work are kind of combining forces, so to speak. This was a couple months ago, and I was sitting around in the office and I was like, you know what? The email popped up that for the cable network, and then I was like, there's a cable network channel here. And then I was like,
Yeah, SCC TV.
SCC TV.
Right.
And I know so many wonderful people in the literary community, poets, writers, storytellers, performers, etc. And I was like, I wonder if there's a way that I could combine those two things, because I'm a writer myself. I produce a quarterly magazine called Word Lit Zine, and I was like, I meet so many awesome poets and writers. It's about time I bring them to the screen. And so I emailed Tom, and he was like, that sounds like a great idea. So now there's a show called Z-Sides that we're working on, and Z-Sides features Seattle's best and brightest poets and writers in a whole new light. So they share their work, we have real talk about their lives, about how they view their work, concepts. We also play games, and it's just a fun environment to break down the idea that being a poet or a writer is something that's immersed in this world of academia and self-importance, and it'd be like, no, we are people just like you, we're cool just like you.
Or uncool.
Or uncool.
Just like you.
Delightfully uncool. We're nerds who just love things. And so the whole idea is both to showcase our talent here in this city, because we have an amazing city, but also just to help out young poets and writers and storytellers who are trying to figure out who to talk to, where to go, how they're feeling, how do they process how they're feeling. Maybe there are other poets and writers who feel the same way. Our emphasis is on poets and writers of color, LGBTQ, trans, because we want to give a platform to that. But basically, if you're good, you make me laugh, we'll come on the show, we'll have a good time. That's kind of the...
what I wanted to do is maybe show a little segment from Z-Sides. Why don't we just do that right now?
All
okay,
right.
Let's take a look.
Hello everyone, and welcome. I am Jekeva Phillips, the editor-in-chief of Word Lit Zine, which is a quarterly for Seattle's poets and writers. And this show you're about to see is Z-Side. Yes. I love your boldness, though. People are like, we don't take this, and you're like, but you do,
should,
right?
You should. I did that.
So you definitely say assertiveness is a huge part of
Yes.
getting your work out there.
Assertiveness and doing the work. You can't just talk about that you're a writer. You can't talk about what you're writing. You actually have to be writing so that when an opportunity presents itself, you have the work. Stay ready. You have to stay ready, but you can only stay ready if you have the work. Because what if I got an opportunity and they were like, yeah, what do you have? And I'm like, I have to go write it. So I think it's a both and.
Yeah.
You guys are having a lot of fun out there.
Yes. Yeah, I love those ladies. They are so much fun. Every last one of them, and in different ways. Lily is, she is the former Youth Poet Laureate, and she's just so delightful. She also does circus, so we bonded over that. She has German wheel, which is not my forte, but we go to the same circus school. I do aerial, but it's so much fun. Anastasia, Claudia, those two gals are the life of the party. I love them.
And one of the things that we didn't see in the clip is that we get to listen and hear the poetry in their own words. Right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and that's
the
very
part-
powerful.
Yeah, that's the part that I love the most about the segment is that you get to hear the poems as they hear them. You get to hear them as they say them and they speak them. Because if I open up a poetry book and I read Milton or somebody, it's like I hear my voice, you know. What I would kill to actually hear Milton's voice is different, or like Ginsberg's voice, right? So to be able to have them speak it in their own cadence and rhyme is like...
Well, we're delighted to have that partnership with you. Look for it on SEC TV, and we're delighted that you were able to spend a few minutes with us here at Seattle Central.
Of course.
Thank you, Jekeva Phillips.
Thank you.
All right, take care.